You're so overwhelmed with carnal, natural things that pass away, you might miss the spiritual things. I hope at the end of my life, God won't give me a solid rebuking of saying, you gave so much time to nothing until I was not able to bring into your life the experiences I wanted to and the knowledge of the supernatural that I wanted to.
Go consecrate the people. Tell them, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow. There are devoted things among you, Israel. You cannot stand against your enemies until you remove them. Today's discussion is about Azealia Banks, the famous, what is she, a singer? I don't even know what she is, church, but however, she's in the industry. And I guess today I want to discuss her being a witch, her bewitching, her antics, black magic, witchcraft, her rituals that she is performing online for the masses, the actual ritual, which is Paulo Mayambe. You can look it up. P as in Paul, A-L-O, Mayambe, excuse me. M-A-Y-O-M-B-E. Yes. Okay, this is a form of black magic, which is Santeria. That is what she is doing. Let's dig deeper, church. I want to read something to you. This is about Paulo Mayambe. It's often referred to as Santeria's evil twin. Paulo Mayambe is considered the darkest and most feared of all the black magic practices. Okay, and I looked up this article. It's called ARM, A-R-M, investigators have on several occasions received warnings to steer clear for their protection. A single personal item left behind is enough to use in a ceremony for severe spells and even death. In the dark world of Paulo Mayambe, many pets such as horses, dogs, and cats get stolen from loving families where they are traded for a monetary profit and subjected to brutal acts for ritual sacrifices. ARMS has documented dogs and cats confined in small cages and exposed to extremities of 120-degree heat with only the blood of other animals to drink, a step in preparation for up-and-coming ceremonies, and only amplifies the degree of cruelty these innocent animals endure as food for the gods. Now, doesn't this remind you guys? Back to Azealia Banks, guys. What do you think that she is doing? Let me read on. There are many intricate details when setting up ceremonies in Paulo Mayambe. And for the most deathly curses, large animals are sacrificed, such as horses that are often decapitated to the highest extreme. Human bones and skulls are part of the ceremony and obtained by grave robbing or taking a life. Now listen to this closely. In 2012, ARM discovered and investigated the largest Paulo Mayambe site in NW MiamiDade in the U.S. Cities and states and, all their abbreviations, but I do want to tell you that MiamiDade County, Florida. Okay, so Miami-Dade County is located in the southeastern part of the U.S. state of Florida. Okay, and but okay, I take that back. That's where Miami-Dade is located at, but I guess NW stands for northwest of Miami-Dade County in Florida. Does that make sense? Maybe there's somebody who's listening to this message that actually has a relative or lives out there and can chime in. Leave a comment below. And you guys, please hit the like button and the share button and subscribe. Let's continue. I also want to let you know that since immemorial time, and let me pronounce that word again. This is a big word, but I had to use it. Immemorial, I-M-M-E-M-O-R-I-A-L, immemorial. And that means originating in the distant past, very old, okay? So, since time immemorial, certain animals have been revered and worshipped as spirits of nature and were known to the ancients as power animals or the animal guides of the gods. Many animals become associated with various deities, such as the hound with Diana, the toad with Hecate, the raven with Prosperina, and the goat with Pan. Some of you guys have heard of these deities. And the owl with Athena, Athena the god. Now, I know you guys heard of the Greek god Athena. The ancients believed animals were closer to nature than humans. So, Azealia, she's into a lot of stuff. And I want to let you know, church, just steer clear from her music, anything that she represents or stands for. Because all this witch needs is a person who is out of the grace of the living God, who doesn't know God, who is, doesn't have any I don't want to say mercy with the Lord, but if you don't know God, you don't know God. You don't have a relationship, okay? So you are not in the realm of his power, the blood upon your life. So with that being said, all she needs is a point of contact. That can be a clothing, that all that has to be is a piece of personal article that belonged to you, something that was yours. So people should be more careful. Azealia Banks has all these young people, all these fans, young and old, all ages, all attracted to her because of her music or her stilo or whatever it is, whatever the case may be, church. Steer free and clear from her. Like, I guess it's some attraction because, okay, she's weird and she's unexpected. She seems like she's a narcissist and all this, a sociopath. She's all these weird things that people gravitate to because they're not used to it. And and then especially during Corona time right now, people, they want to gravitate to some type of excitement, some type of adventure. And she's a kooky one. So, you hear the myths about witches and, these evil things from ancient times, and people begin to wonder. They begin to feed in these things, and they want to see what these things are about. And this is how she is fooling the masses. This is her livelihood. This is her lifestyle. I believe that this girl is doing this as a way to live, to make a living, believe it or not, because she's not popular, in our eyes, in no way, shape, or form. She's broke as far as we know of. We don't hear her in mainstream. We hear of her only when she's doing something crazy. So I'm saying, think about it. How is she making an income? And she's moving to Miami. If you look up on the ARMS website, the largest, place, I don't know if it's in the world or in the country, is Miami. Is where they are actually doing these rituals and sacrificing these animals. Okay, if you listen to one of these videos from one of these bloggers, but it was on Azealia and her, doing what she did to her cat. She states that she was fleeing LA to move to Miami. Okay, how ironic that this article about these arms, these people that are rescuing these ritualistic, these animals that have been abused. Why is the largest place where this foundation is, or whoever they are, advocates or whatever for these animals, why are they in Miami? Okay, so she's going right to the heart of the place to do these rituals. Like, this girl's out her mind.
Meanwhile,
okay? She's dangerous, church. Steer clear and free. And you guys need to pray. You guys need to ask Jesus for discernment and understanding and wisdom and knowledge of these things, because these are the things that he is speaking of, the sign of the times. We're in spiritual warfare. Jesus is coming back, and we are living in the last days. And we just need to recognize, so you guys can have your shield and your breastplate on. You have to defend yourself, from these things. This is not a joke. I think a lot of people think that this is funny. It's almost like a scary movie to them, that this is funny. It's not funny. It's serious. O Lord, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways, and hardened our hearts from thy fear? Return for thy servants' sake the tribes of thine inheritance. Now, church, since you have a little insight on these stars up in Hollywood, from Hollywood, okay, and look at the prefix and the suffix of the word Hollywood. Hollywood is Los Angeles. That's fallen angels. Like that place, it has a mark on it, and it's more truth than lies, you know what I'm saying, than myths. A lot of things that goes on in Hollywood, you wouldn't even believe, because we're dealing with all walks of spiritual life. And what I mean is, it's a lot of dark things there. They do not believe, they cling on to the little deities for their livelihood. And so these little deities, there's hierarchies and there's ranks, and they're bloodthirsty, they're soul thirsty. So many modern witches still use animals when working with magic, utilizing their primordial instincts and psychic abilities to attune with nature and deities. Animals are considered sensitive to psychic power and vibrations, and are welcomed into the magic circle when power is being raised or spells are being cast, or to aid with scrying, divination, and spirit contact. And so this girl, Azealia Banks, she's done dabbled into all of that. You see what I'm trying to say? She has dabbled into where there's no return, because there's no confession or repentance. There's no true God in her. She is not working with the high God. She's working with the deities, the little G's, the little gods. So when working with magic, animals can act as a guard in psychic defense, for they react visibly to negative forces and harmful energy. So there's no telling as what she is using her cat for. Like, we already know it's a Santeria ritual, but we don't know what she specifically is doing, like what spell, what incantation, or whatever, what is her purpose, her objection. But also cat, in folklore, a cat, especially a black cat, her cat was white and gray from what I see, is associated with witches. We already know that she's a practicing witch. A witch or a sorcerer was, back in those days, the old days, the ancient days, was reputed to own a cat as a familiar. And they were believed to embody demons who perform the witch's task. You see what I'm trying to say? So familiar, that word familiar spirit. Okay, these Nephilim, these fallen angels, that are working through people and disembodied spirits, and we're not going to go into all of that, but you know where I'm going, church. Witches were said to take the form of cat. Of a cat 9 times, a reflection of the traditional 9 lives of a cat. Okay, that's where we get that saying that cats have 9 lives. Okay, and they were also used for spells in modern witchcraft. The cat is a common pet and a familiar, kept for its psychic sensitivity. Okay, so ain't no telling what this girl, maybe she want to know something about somebody or something, so she using her cat as and putting a familiar spirit, doing a spell on a cat, how you say it, I can't even say that word. Oh, incantation, to bring up an incantation, to bring back a spirit that she believes is going to guide her or help her in some type of way. But it comes back to bite you because it's something in return. It's evil with evil. If evil plus evil equals evil, there's no good. So if there's no light and there's darkness, church, what do you think that you're going to get? What do you think that's going to come back full circle? You get what I'm saying? All right.